Welcome back to another episode of the Tuesday Tea Podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me. And today I have a really exciting guest, you guys. Lisa Druxman is here and she's amazing. Like, I was going through my notes for today's episode thinking, okay, not only are we going to learn a lot, but she's so dynamic, has so much going on. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for being here.
Hi. Well, thanks for making my day with your sweet kindness.
You're making my day. The audience is going to love this. And I'm so looking forward to the conversation. But let me please properly introduce you, okay? So Lisa is the founder and CEO of Fit4Mom. It's the world's largest fitness program for moms with 2,600 plus locations and 1,500 instructors and 310 different franchises. I mean, you're talking nationwide. Like, Fit4Mom is behind the widely popular prenatal and postnatal mom fitness programs, Fit4Baby, Stroller Strides, and Body Back that millions of moms have used to stay strong in mind, body, and spirit during pregnancy and restart their careers after motherhood begins, which I gotta say, as you guys know, I have an 8-month-old and a 4-year-old. And so this really is very fitting for me personally and where I'm at in my own journey. What makes Lisa's story super unique is that she actually wasn't looking to start a national business at all. She was just looking for a career that integrated with motherhood. And so let's get into this, Lisa.
Yeah, so a baby was born and then a business was born.
Amazing. So tell us more about your background. Like, you weren't looking to get into this whole empire that you've built. What happened? Tell me.
Yeah, I had been in the fitness industry for a decade at the time, which is crazy because now Fit4Mom is 21 years old, which means I've been in the fitness industry for over 30 years.
Wow.
And I was on maternity leave with my little baby Jacob, and I was the general manager at a really large multi-million-dollar health club. And I didn't want to leave my baby during maternity leave to work out. So I created a workout that I could do with him. It was a stroller-based workout, and it was our best hour of the day. But what was missing for me was I knew nothing about motherhood, and I really needed connection with other moms. So literally, like, light bulb idea while I was pushing the stroller. I remember exactly where I was, and I'm like, I could start a class where I help moms get back in shape after having a baby, and they can help me with all the things I need to know about motherhood, sleeping and nursing and just everything. And so I started a local class, which is for moms in my neighborhood. I wasn't looking to start a business. This was really just supposed to be creating a community that I needed. And long story short, it took off. It took off here in San Diego. And so I didn't have to go back to work. I turned it into a business. And that first year back in 2001 was the start of Stroller Strides. That was our flagship program. It's a stroller-based workout where moms work out with the stroller, get a total body workout, they have fun with their baby, they meet other new moms. And I felt in that year, I was like, I hit the job lottery. Like, this is amazing. I'm making extra money. I'm with my baby. I'm meeting all these amazing women. It was super positive and energetic. And apparently I wasn't the only one looking for this community, because we started getting requests from all over the country from women who wanted to start classes or join classes. Now realize this is 2001. There was no Facebook, there was no social media. So this was pure word of mom. This was moms telling their sister, cousin, friend, hey, I'm doing this cool class in San Diego. And so, very long story short as I can make it, we did end up franchising the business, and we are now Fit4Mom, which is fitness for every stage of motherhood. So we are still Stroller Strides. That is still our flagship program, but we have Fit4Baby, which is our prenatal program. We have a program called Strides 360, Body Ignite. And it's funny, I have to make sure that we update our intro, because Body Back is no longer Body Back. There's kind of a change in paradigm and realizing there was nothing wrong with your body before. And so that program is now called Body Well, and really focusing on the transformation, both physically and mentally, but not because there was anything wrong with your body before. So long story short, we're fitness for every stage of motherhood. We're a franchise, and we're as much about community as we are about the fitness.
I love that so much. And just looking at the flagship Instagram account, I really feel that community aspect. as a mom, where I am getting my body well again, right? It is so, it's humbling to know that I've got a ways to go. I really do. And chasing after the 4-year-olds, constantly with my 8-month-old, it almost feels like there's just not enough time in the day, right? Whether that's going out and being a part of a class, but I also noticed that there's online classes, right?
There are, that kind of happened from the pandemic, I guess, a silver lining to the pandemic. We are an in-person program and all about in-person community. And so when the pandemic happened, we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And so we did create Fit4Mom on demand. We created online classes. So if there is not a Fit4Mom by you, please feel free to check out Fit4Mom on demand. And I know we do have a special offer for your listeners, 50% off Fit4Mom on demand. So excited to share that. But it was interesting, our franchisees realized that even though we were going online, moms still needed community. So they also did mom's night out and play groups and all the things that we normally do in classes. They did all of that online as well. So like I said, people come for the fitness, but they end up staying for the community.
I love that. I saw some photos just today, because today we're actually recording this on St. Patrick's Day. And I saw that it was an after Fit4Mom class where the kiddos got to do some handprints, and it was really sweet just to have something for the kiddos as well. The continuation of the community piece.
Yeah.
It's really phenomenal.
All of our Stroller Strides classes will have a play group. Most of them will have it once a week at least. And so there's activities for the toddlers, and they have lectures for the moms and all kinds of things to really just, honestly, it's a one-stop shopping, right? Like you get to meet your mom friends, you get to have fun with your baby, and so and get your exercise in all in at once.
I love that you started this out of something you wanted, right? And I feel like that makes the best businesses, truly.
Absolutely.
At the heart of it, it's something you wanted to create, and you did it and made it happen.
Yeah, I saw a gap and filled it myself.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you've built, like I said, this total empire that's helping so many other mamas. What happened now when you figured out, like, all right, we need to start franchise. We have to do this because it's growing. This is amazing. What was the turning point that really made that happen? Was it someone that came to you that said, you might want to do this? Or did you just wake up one morning and said, aha, this is the route we're going to go?
Yeah, I mean, I had no intention of growing a nationwide business. I was perfectly happy with what I was doing in San Diego. And we had an instructor who said, Lisa, I'm moving from San Diego to Monterey. Let me open it in Monterey and see if it works there. And I said, okay, you can do it there, but you have to follow all of my operations manuals. You have to follow it exactly like we do it here so we can really see, does it work? And it took off, just like it took off here. And then we said, okay, you know what? Now we know it works in California, but does it work in hot places like Texas and Arizona? And does it work in cold places like New Jersey and Chicago? And so what we did at first was we sold 6 beta licenses, we called it. We said, we're just going to sell 6. We don't know if this is going to work. It was, a slamming deal. We'll give you this great deal, and let's figure it out together. And we did figure out a lot because we needed to figure out how to negotiate with venues because we didn't need that in San Diego, and improved our training and improved so many different things. I mean, it's funny because it's not even recognizable from what we used to do 21 years ago. But so even though there was demand for so much more, we said, nope, we're only doing 6 for a year. But what was nice was during that year, we were building an email list of people who wanted to open. So when we were able to say, hey, we are ready to do this, we had a lot of people. And so it was like a rocket ship. It grew so fast in that first few years.
That's incredible. Do you mind if I ask what the fee is to become a franchisee?
No, of course not. I'm proud of it, actually, because when being a fitness professional myself, if I wanted to open my own business, 20, 30 years ago, the only things that I could think of opening were my own studio, right? My own fitness studio or my own gym. And that was going to be a, $1 million investment. And if you want to buy fitness franchise, that's at least $100,000 to buy into. Well, I wanted to create a low cost opportunity for moms. And so our franchises, again, it will depend on what time you're listening to this, but they're about $7,500. So it's pretty reasonable.
Wow.
And you get an exclusive territory. You get all the training you need, all the tools you need. It really is a business in a box. It's very turnkey. So it's meant to be a low cost business for moms. It is work. I don't want to say that it's not work, but most of our franchises work and integrate work with life. And, they're not working a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 by any means. So
that's a gift. The barrier to entry feels pretty, I mean, to many, it might seem like a lot, but really to have everything essentially handed to you, like you said, business in a box, here's exactly how to run the business. We're going to help you. We're going to train you. That's amazing. Really. Thank you. Thank you for doing that for so many mamas. That's amazing. Okay. So shifting gears then, let's talk a little bit about moms in general and what you recommend moving moms from entering into motherhood to really getting out of overwhelm. Can we talk a little bit about that?
It's a hot topic. I used to have a column on Entrepreneur Magazine. In fact, if you go search my name, you can probably see all of my old articles. But I remember my editor every month would be like, we're getting requests for another article on life balance. I'm like, how many articles can we write on it? And it's because it's elusive. It's something that we just are never able to figure out. And I can share my own experience. I started Fit4Mom because I wanted to be a mom first and foremost. I wasn't expecting to start a nationwide franchise. And so what happened was it took off so big, so fast that I was very soon living in overwhelm and drowning, and wasn't showing up as the leader I wanted to be, wasn't showing up as the mom, spouse, wasn't taking care of my own health, and realized I felt very hypocritical because here I'm teaching all these moms in classes to put their own oxygen mask on first, but I wasn't doing it myself. And I had kind of I call it an epiphany. All right. I had an epiphany that I created this, and that also meant I could create something different. So I sat right here at the same desk you're looking at right now, and I got out a big sheet of paper and I really said, what are the 3 most important things to me? And the first time I did it, I wrote the business, I wrote my family, and I think I wrote my friends. And then I realized, that doesn't really work, because I was putting so much energy into my kids and the business that I was really neglecting my marriage. So I changed it to be my business, my marriage, and my kids. And then I put myself in the center. I said, I know that I cannot take care of these other things if I don't start taking care of myself. And I might not have tons of time, but what can I do to plug that in first? Like, the problem is that we get all the work done and all the parenting done, and then it's like whatever's left over is what's for you. I flipped that. And so I started to book my calendar, and I created a budget for my time to say, 1, how much sleep do I need? How much movement do I need each day? What are the things that fill me up? For me, it's a morning ritual that includes gratitude and journaling and meditation. For you, it could be reading the Bible or knitting. I mean, it could be whatever you want it to be, but like, what is the thing that you need to do? And so I created a new schedule for myself that made sure that was in first, that there was time set aside for those things that were most important. When you do this exercise, and it's an exercise I teach with our franchisees, you first panic and you're like, well, there's not enough hours in the day to do all of that. And that's when we then have to prune and say, okay, what are we going to take out of our life? And, the thing that nobody ever wants to admit is if I ask to see your phone and how much time you're spending on all the apps, like, most of us are spending too much time there, or too much, or I'll ask you what television show you're binge watching. And it's like, oh, I love Yellowstone and I've watched, 2 seasons. Like, they're choices. And I love Yellowstone too, but they're choices. And you just have to decide, what do you want to spend your time on? So that was a really long answer to your question. My quick answer to your question about how to get over overwhelm is to get more organized about how you use your time, and to hold your time sacred.
Mm. Do you have any accountability tips taking action on that?
I
Because I
mean,
feel like that's a problem for many, many business owners.
an accountability tip that I would say is to be out loud about it. So if I share my calendar with you to book an appointment, or my team has access to seeing my calendar, they see that that morning time is all blocked. They see, I literally say, here's my meeting times that are available. Because what would happen when everybody has access to your calendar was, I would do 8 meetings in a day, and there were no bathroom breaks and there was no food breaks. And I was just fried by the end of the day. And so I said, okay, well, how many meetings a day can I do and not feel fried? And for me, that number is about 4. So I've got 4 meeting spots, and you can book any one of those spots. And there's margin between each one of those spots. So there's time for me to take a breath, to take a stretch, to get some fresh air. It's about progress, not perfection. Does that mean that I never have a day with 7 or 8 meetings? It doesn't. It does happen. But that is the exception, not the rule. I mean, I really did redesign my life, and it's a choice. It's a choice. And then if you need accountability, I mean, whether it's your spouse or a friend, or if you're lucky enough to have a sister, I mean, my sister is always the best person to hold a mirror up and say, like, hey, you're not taking care of yourself, or you're saying yes to too many things. So who is that person for you?
I 100% wholeheartedly agree. I also have a sister, an older sister, who called me even just today to ask me some very key questions where I had to go, yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed that we have a sister. Truly.
Definitely. And then I believe there's a sisterhood in motherhood. I guarantee that there's a fellow mama out there who wants to be your accountability partner.
What would you recommend for someone who is interested in entering into the franchisee space, perhaps with your company? Are you accepting new franchisees with your company?
Yeah, we're definitely accepting new franchisees.
Okay.
It's interesting. I host a webinar. It's usually every 6 weeks. And yes, the webinar is about Fit4Mom, but it's not just about Fit4Mom. It's really trying to help people understand, what to look for if they are considering a franchise, what to look for, what are the different business opportunities after motherhood? Because it's interesting. When I started Fit4Mom, I thought it was going to be for other fitness professionals like myself. That was not the case. My franchisees are accountants, attorneys, teachers, nurses, graphic designers, all kinds of careers where they loved their career, but it didn't end up being the fit they wanted it to be once they became a mom, and they didn't know that. And so I think that becoming a mom is a transition point for a lot of women to decide, maybe I need a career shift. And there's lots of things that you can shift to, and thank goodness that there's a lot more work at home opportunities than there ever have been. And there are a lot more flexible opportunities. Being an employee is great. I'm so blessed to have employees. So I don't want to say that being an entrepreneur is the only way to go. It's not for everybody. If you're looking to start your own business, I mean, you coach a lot of business owners, so you know that I think like 90% of new businesses fail. Like that's a scary bet.
Yep.
But 90% of franchisees succeed. So because you're buying a proven business model. But I think it's important if you're looking to become a franchisee of any companies, I'm always about the passion and about the why. Like, I think find what your passion is. If you are passionate about music, there are franchises that you could do that are tied to music. If you're passionate about cleaning and organizing your house, there's a franchise there. If you're passionate about building community and fitness, then Fit4Mom is great for you. So I think finding your passion, I think it's important to really think about how hard do you want to work and what the investment is. Again, most franchises are going to be very, very expensive. Most franchises, you will have to work outside the home. If you buy a fitness studio kind of a franchise concept, you're going to need to be there all the time. So if you're a mom, then you're probably going to want to look for what are work at home franchise opportunities and really find out like how much time are the franchisees really working? And like anything else, you're going to get what you put into it. So I have some franchisees who work 2 hours a day, and I have some franchisees who work 8 hours a day. They get very different results, but it's your business to decide what you want to put into it and what you want to get out of it.
That's such great advice. It's unique to speak with someone like yourself where I know absolutely nothing about this space. So there's so much I want to pick your brain about.
So
Maybe
I'll tell you the boring part about it, but it's important to know. So all franchises are going to have something called an FDD, which is a franchise disclosure document. And that's something that all franchisors work on once a year with their attorney and the Federal Trade Commission. And it is this long, very long, very boring document, lots of legal information. But it's important. And it's important because it helps you see what this franchise has done, what they're about, how they're backed, are they financially in a good spot, all about it really helps you look under the hood of the business, because they want to make sure that it is a good business model and you have been properly informed about the business. So, grab a glass of wine, but whatever franchise you're considering, make sure you do the due diligence, actually read the document and find out what kind of training are they going to give me? What kind of support are they going to give me? Is there an expectation about how much money I'm going to have to spend on marketing? A lot of franchises have a marketing fund. So besides your regular fees, you have to pay for that. That is not the case for us, but that is very typical for a lot of franchises. So, the answers are there. You just have to do your homework and look for them.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for going into that a bit more. And I don't think it's boring at all. I like the technical piece of it. I think it's
when
important.
You see the FDD, you'll go, oh, she's right.
Lisa, you're the author of 2 books, and one is called The Empowered Mama. And I have a book called Empowered too. And I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh.
Amazon should bundle them together.
Totally. Tell me more about your books.
Yeah. So, well, the first book was Lean Mommy. And honestly, I wrote that so long ago, I can barely remember what it's about, but it was, it was a book that's kind of based on Stroller Strides and being a healthy role model for your kids. I do believe that the best way to raise healthy kids is to be a healthy mom. And so live as you one day want your kids to live. So if I remember correctly, that's what Lean Mommy was about, but it was a while ago that I wrote that one. And then The Empowered Mama is certainly a newer book, and it teaches you how to reclaim your time and your health and yourself. And it came out of that epiphany that I told you about. So it literally is a month-by-month workbook that kind of helps you focus on, how am I going to redesign my time? What is important to me? And walks you through it to really hopefully transform your life within a year. And I did it workbook style and did it a month at a time, because I'm like, moms are overwhelmed. They doing too much is right. But it's if you could just focus on, hey, this month, I'm just going to work on this one thing. Then a year from now, it's pretty transformational.
That sounds incredible. That's the very first thing I'm going to do right when we get off this call. I'm going to go check out that book.
Love it. Thank you.
Is it available on Amazon?
It's available on Amazon and all the other major bookstores.
I'll be sure to put links to your books in the show notes, because I think
much appreciated.
Really... Well, Lisa, she mentioned it earlier, but she has an amazing gift, you guys, and I'm going to let her explain a little bit more about that now.
Yeah. So first of all, we would love anybody who's listening to come to a Fit4Mom class. And so you can enter to win a free month of classes, but we are also giving you a free week of classes. And so all you need to do is go to fit4mom.com/podcast. And if there's not a class near you, I've got you covered there too. We have a 50% off Fit4Mom on demand. So that's our online program. And so you can give that a try. And I think we've got a 2-week trial for you guys. So all you need to do is go to fit4mom.com/podcast. And then we've got the code for you, Sweet D, for this podcast. And so that way you can get your big discounts. Come on over to fit4mom.com. It's fit4mom.com. That way you can find out about any classes that are near you. You can find out about the franchise opportunity. And also, we're always looking for instructors. So if you're interested in teaching one of the classes, that's another opportunity we've got.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lisa. Really nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, that is it for this episode. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.